both votes for Labour tomorrow in the election.
In this unusual, socially distanced election, it's not the pandemic that dominates the debate, but instead it's the question of Scottish independence. That's tricky for Scottish Labour, who know they need to rebuild a lot of support before they can really challenge the SNP.
If you want to help build a credible alternative to Nicola Sturgeon and the SNP, you need to support me in this election campaign. Help me do it.
But you don't expect to win this election campaign. You don't expect to be First Minister yourself next week.
Well, I am many things. I doubt I'm Superman. So given where we were 10 weeks ago in the polls, and given where we need to get to, I don't think it was possible, but that's up to the people of Scotland to decide.
Stirling Castle gives a historic backdrop to what's being described as the most important Scottish election since the devolved Parliament was set up. And that's because if the SNP win an overall majority, they will claim that's an electoral mandate for having another referendum on Scottish independence. The Tories want to do what it says on the posters. They claim they're the only party that can stop an independence referendum.
What we can't have is an SNP majority government who go ahead unchecked. We need a check in Holyrood to stop them forging ahead with their plans to divide our country all over again.
So even if you don't win, you think you can block them from having another vote?
Vote Scottish Conservatives to stop that SNP majority, to stop a second independence referendum, and crucially, to allow us to focus on our recovery.
The Scottish Lib Dem leader will do almost anything to get his party noticed, and he's equally determined to try and stop another independence referendum.
Vote for Liberal Democrats in every corner of Scotland, because that will make sure the next Parliament is focused on recovery, not on independence.
The Scottish Greens are obviously focused on the climate emergency, but believe that can be better tackled in an independent Scotland.
We would like to have a referendum to go back and ask the people of Scotland that democratic question: who would you like making your decisions? Brexiteer Tories in Westminster, or a government in Scotland that we've actually voted for?
The SNP have taken their quest for another referendum right across the country. But no matter how many voters back Nicola Sturgeon here, the Prime Minister says he'll veto a vote on independence.
The Prime Minister is not immune or exempt from democracy. I know he thinks he is, but he's not. The question of Scotland's future shouldn't be determined by me or by Boris Johnson. It should be decided by the people of Scotland. And if people vote for that to be the case, then Boris Johnson has got no more right than any other politician to stand in the way of democracy.
Once the votes have been counted, the Holyrood Parliament could then become the epicentre of an unprecedented constitutional battle over the future of the United Kingdom. Sarah Smith, BBC News, Glasgow.